In addition to product display, now you have order fulfillment or order processing. Now, as part of this order processing is, what payment gateways does your processor support? So, the big boys are PayPal Standard, PayPal Pro, and Authorize.net. And not all of those are supported by all of the plugins. And then you have some of the major players like Google Checkout and 2Checkout and Amazon Payments. And then there are other potential payment gateways besides that, right? You may have payment gateways that are specific to certain countries, like the Netherlands and Sweden or Australia or New Zealand. There are payment gateways that apply just to that country. There are payment gateways that allow you to sell adult products or tobacco products or alcohol products, if those are the kinds of things you're going to sell. Inverse of that is also the case, right? There are payment gateways that won't let you sell those things, so you'll have to look for a different payment gateway. And then if you live in one of the emerging markets, there are payment gateways that specialize in countries that are not inside, that are inside the emerging markets. So if you're selling in Asia or if you are selling in Africa, you may need to use a payment processor that works in emerging markets. So that can be a determiner for who or what plugin that you're going to use. In addition, there are other order processing criteria like, does the shopping cart support an add to cart button? Or perhaps more restrictively, does it support a buy now button? Add to cart button is probably supported everywhere, but not everybody supports a buy now button. And generally speaking, the buy now button is going to streamline the checkout process, which can increase your sales. So, does it have a buy now button? Can you process an order via an HTML link? So have a buy now option that when they click on an HTML link, it goes and processes the transaction. If you know anything about WP eStore, if you've been in any of my earlier classes or that sort of thing, you may have been surprised to know that this is actually a link to a WP eStore transaction processor. And that's because what it actually is an HTML link that's embedded in this little CSS form. And so WP eStore actually offers you the opportunity to sell things from an HTML link, which would include selling them from an email. And then you also want to know whether or not, if you're tracking your inventory with your software, does it have out of stock protection to keep somebody from buying something that's out of stock, or trying to buy a quantity of 10 when you only got 5 left? Will it calculate shipping directly on your site? There are a couple of plugins that will not. They'll let you ship off to PayPal to calculate shipping, but they won't calculate shipping, within the plugin itself. Same thing is true with taxes. Can taxes be calculated on your site? Or do you have to go outside of your site in order to calculate taxes? And then, how many steps are there in the buying process? Every step in the buying process increases cart abandonment. So you want to choose a shopping cart that has the least number of steps necessary in order for somebody to actually, make the purchase. And the more complex it is, the less likely people are going to fulfill it. So you want to know the steps in that ordering process. Then you also have the order fulfillment criteria. And when you're fulfilling digital orders, it's quite a bit different than when you're fulfilling physical orders. So if you're fulfilling the order for digital products, does your plugin support Amazon S3 or some other content delivery network for storing the files so your own web server doesn't have to deliver the files? Does your plugin support expiring download links? So the download link is going to work for a while, but then it will stop working after a certain period of time. Does it support encrypted download links? So the download link can't be shared across the internet, so that when one person gets a download link for the product, that not only does it expire, but it doesn't tell them where the real product is, and so they can't go try and find it later. And can it deliver download links via email, or will it automatically deliver download links via email? Just a moment here. Again, if you are fulfilling digital sales, once the sale is complete, does the plugin provide you the opportunity for an automatic redirection to the download page. So, as soon as the sale is complete, they go right to a place where they can go ahead and make the download. If you've got bundled products, does the fulfillment process give you the opportunity to have individual files for those bundled downloads? Really, the whole bundled project process is significantly hampered if you can have bundled products, but it can still only be a single file. It's much easier to work with a plugin where if you're going to sell them, if you say, buy these 3 ebooks, that you can specify 3 different file locations and it generates 3 different download links rather than requiring you to zip all your files together and make them a single download link. And it's also easier for the user, right? Because it's surprising how many end users don't know how to unzip stuff. If you're selling digital products, can it email license keys to the purchaser if you're selling license keys? Will your plugin offer pay-per-view? So if you've got videos, for example, can somebody watch your video once or 5 times or something like that? And if you're selling PDFs, will your plugin provide a security stamp on that PDF? So if you find your copy of your PDF floating around the internet, you can see, who it was sold to. So that's some order fulfillment criteria for digital products. For intangible products, you also have some things to consider. Will it accurately handle subscription management? So if somebody subscribes to your site each month, if a subscription is canceled, does it communicate that information back to your website so their access can be canceled? Does, one system in particular, Cart66, claims to be able to offer subscription management, so they say you can take subscription payments. But the funny thing is they've got a little double asterisk beside that, and if you go hunt around and finally find that double asterisk, you'll realize it only takes subscription payment in one very narrow, specific PayPal type of account, and it's not the typical PayPal account. So I consider that to not offer subscription payments from my standpoint, because it's in such a limited context that it does. And if it's something like a PDF voucher or a ticket or something like that, does it provide for delivery of that to the customer? And then if you're talking about physical products, you have a whole nother set of fulfillment criteria, right? In the first place, do you have status codes in your dashboard? And we'll talk about what those status codes are, but if you've got physical products and say somebody buys 3 different products from you and they need to be shipped separately because they're, one is big and heavy and 2 are small and light, for example. You need to be able to manage that kind of stuff inside your dashboard. And if you've got a busy store, you really want to know, okay, have I shipped this out to the customer? Have I actually received the payment? Have I notified the customer that there's a problem with their shipping? Have we determined that the entire transaction is complete? That kind of stuff. So it's very nice to be able to have status codes associated with your transactions in your dashboard. And does it provide for automatic status codes? So if you're with Authorize.net, it first tells you that the sale is pending, and then when Authorize approves the sale, based on whatever criteria they use, it sends you another code saying that the transaction has been processed. Does it have that automatic ability? Does it have the ability for you to manually set codes? So you go into a site and say, no, this is not shipped, or this is partially shipped, or, whoops, something is on back order. Can you do that? And then can you create custom codes for yourself? So, so that you can make the status codes fit your own business model and your own fulfillment process. Can you handle status emails to your customers from inside of the dashboard? That is, does it automatically send out a receipt? Does it give you the opportunity to manually send out things like, okay, your order has been shipped, here's your tracking code, or manually send out status notifications, that sort of thing? Does it give you an opportunity to do the same thing with custom follow-ups? Can you, from inside the dashboard, compose an email and send it to your client, your customer, either making sure that something is taken care of, or if it's not clear, clearing up something you're not certain about? And can that record of all that stuff be contained inside of the dashboard, so you have a single place for keeping track of all of your customer contact? Essentially, does it contain detailed fulfillment management? There are plenty of contexts in which this is irrelevant, but with physical products, especially large stores of physical products, fulfillment management is significant. And if the software does not provide detailed fulfillment management inside the dashboard, then you want to know that before you make a choice. How about shipping labels? Can you create shipping labels from inside your dashboard so that you can print out packing labels and shipping labels and that kind of stuff for packing? Will it do those things for you? And then, again, since you've got physical products, what kinds of shipping methods does it support? Does it support free shipping? Well, I suppose by definition everything supports free shipping, but you might want to have free shipping in specific contexts. Does it support flat rate shipping? So it could be that your products always fit in these U.S. Postal Service flat rate boxes. And so can you assign flat rate shipping then to certain products so that you can take advantage of those flat rate boxes? Does it handle tiered rate shipping or table rate shipping, where you say, okay, if something weighs so much and it's going this direction, charge this? And so can you set up a tiered rate or table rate shipping with the system? And then, does it have the potential for integrating with shipping services, like for automatic calculation for U.S. Postal Service, or UPS, or FedEx, or Canada Post, or Royal Mail in the UK, or DHL in Europe? Does it have those kinds of does it have the ability to integrate with those services to automatically calculate shipping costs? And then, does it have inventory controls? Right? Does it keep track of how much inventory you have for physical products? And can that inventory be matched to variations so that it, as we already talked about, can inventory be matched to bundled products? So if you've created a bundled product, say of, buy this book and this DVD together as a product bundle, when they buy that product bundle, can it adjust the inventory for each of those individual aspects of it? And if you don't have sufficient inventory for one of them, can it show the product bundle as being out of stock? Can it generate inventory reports so you can tell where your stock is without having to check individual products? And can it send you email alerts when at certain stages of inventory, when inventory may be getting low? So the sorts of inventory controls you may be interested in. In terms of customer input, if you are, again, selling engraved something, and maybe it's a trophy, and you're giving them 3 lines of engraving, and the first line has so many characters, second line has so many characters, third line has so many characters. Do you have the ability to have that text input for each of those things in order for them to provide you with the information that you need in order to fulfill the product? Can it do file uploads? So if you're selling posters, can they upload a picture? If you're selling business cards, can they upload, a file? If whatever it happens to be, can it handle file uploads for order fulfillment?